Because the clarification, sir, as an advocate, just a moment. The clarification is that there are specific dates as mentioned in the Constitution. I mean, the Public Holiday Act. For example, the issue of May 29 specifically mentioned. If you're going to alter that, then the president need to have called for an amendment to change that.
No. Because Section 2 has given him the power to proclaim a holiday.
But what about changing the
alteration? The one you are talking about was also proclaimed by the President Olusegun Obasanjo, May 29. It wasn't an act of parliament. So another president exercising his power can change it. But the observation by Senator Ekerimadu has to be addressed. The president is not extending the tenure of elected officers. Once you are elected, according to the Constitution, your tenure ends after 4 years. So, May 29
still remains the
day of inauguration of government in Nigeria. But it doesn't have to be a public holiday.
But the government is saying June 12 will not be a public holiday.
No, this year, because we had already had a public holiday, a democracy day on May 29. But with the fact from next year, you won't have a holiday on May 29.
If you were the president today, what would you do differently?
With respect to
June 12 and the 1993 presidential election,
I endorse the conferment of the awards on Chief M.K. Abiola. I also endorse that of Chief Gani Fawemi. I endorse the declaration of the holiday, June 12, as a holiday. I will, however, want to go further by having a list, by conferring honors on all those who suffered indignities, who suffered injustice as a result of the annulment. Mind you, the Abacha junta was a product of the annulment. Because if we had had the result of the election announced and the president inaugurated, we wouldn't have had the legal interim government and the extension of military rule. And today we could be talking of political stability in a serious sense. But having said that, what is important for me, again, as I did say, it is not enough to honor Chief Gani Fawemi for his contribution to the validation of the mandate. The greatest tribute that can be paid to Gani Fawemi is the commitment of the government to respect human rights and rule of law.
Is the government
because that was what he fought for all his life.
Is the government not doing that?
Not sufficiently. I mean, you mean in terms of human rights?
Human rights.
Oh, you must know that I regularly join issues with the government over massive violations of human rights. Oh yes.
Do they listen to you at all?
We keep it up.
What would you say?
Keep up. I mean, for instance, the Amnesty International, the office of the Amnesty International in Abuja, is being harassed by the military under this regime.
Really?
Because that organization produced a report on human rights violations in the Northeast. And you are also aware that I went to court to fight, and I succeeded, for the release of Ezaki Saki and his wife. And the court gave judgment on December 2, 2016. Up to now, they have not been released. Don't take the court, please, Federal High Court, the FCT High Court, the ECOWAS Court, ordered the release of Colonel Sambo Dasuki on bail. He's still languishing in custody. And of course, there are other Nigerians who have been arrested daily as we are gathered here for wandering by the police. The law, the vagrancy law, was abolished in Nigeria in 1989. So these violations are going on. So if you want to honor Gani, I do hope with effect from June 12th, this regime will undertake and ensure that the human rights of all Nigerians are respected.
Is it that the government of the day does not have any ground, legally speaking, for holding, for example, security issues, for holding the former NSA, Sambo Dasuki, and that of Ed Zazaki?
Can I tell you how I suffer from personal agony as a Nigerian lawyer? And I'll tell you why. Under the military regimes, including the neo-Tanzanese Buhari Idi Agbon junta, there was not a single case where a court ordered that my client be released, and it was not released. You can now imagine my agony if, under a civilian dispensation, court orders for the release of Nigerians are disobeyed. I cannot clap for the government in that area.
There's no way you can fight that in...
No, we're fighting it. Oh, we're fighting it. I mean, I can just tell you, just this morning, the State Security Service released two Indian nationals who have been detained for over 6 months. I've been to court.
Are you saying, Mr. Falana, that the government don't...
They were released today.
That the government
so we keep up the struggle.
That the government does not have any grounds, such as security reasons.
No, you cannot, under the current human rights regime in Nigeria, you cannot detain any Nigerian at the whims and caprices of anybody. You must go to court.
Okay.
You must go to court and get a court order.
Mr. Falana, we will take another break. But when we come back, we will get in the final thoughts of Mr. Falana on several other issues that I've lined up here on the program. That's next. Don't go anywhere. Some of the final moments now on the program with Mr. Femi Falana, senior advocate of Nigeria, front-line fighter in Nigeria's struggle for democracy. Pre-1993, I beg your pardon. Thank you so much, Mr. Falana, for your thought. Let me quickly I have a few questions I'd like you to answer it within the next 3 or 4 minutes before we end the program. The June 12 pronouncement, some have criticized it as perhaps it's just political for you. Do you think it is? Because some of the critics of this government have said it's just a means to sway the people of the Southwest.
When you make that kind of statement, you reduce the significance of the June 12th mandate. It was a Pan-Nigerian mandate. So to therefore say this is an attempt to assuage the feelings of people in the Southwest, sometimes can be insulting. And please, we need to put the record straight. Some of those who led the struggle against the annulment are not from the Southwest. People like Balarabe Musa, I've mentioned, Kokori, I've mentioned Bello, okay, I've mentioned Justice Mustafa Akombi, I've mentioned Chima Ubani, Olisa Agbakoba, and others. I know two senior military officers who lost their commission because of their stand on June 12th. Colonel Dangiwa Umar in Kaduna and General Femi Williams in Lagos, who simply said, we cannot be party to this annulment. If you are having another military dictatorship, we are living. So, there are people all over the place who got killed.
Let's end the conversation tonight on the issues of human rights and the rule of law, which you're so passionate about and you spoke about earlier. A former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, raised an alarm. And he said that there are plans to silence him by this government. What are your thoughts on his statement?
I can assure you, somebody asked me this morning, and I said, no, we're going to adopt the same attitude when he and the late General Yaradua and others were tried illegally and sentenced to death. And I can tell you, the late Falana Kuti never forgave me before he died for not persuading his brother, the late Bekoransom Kuti, not to get involved. As far as Fela was concerned, a soldier wanted to kill another soldier. What was your business? Abacha wanted to kill Obasanjo. Oh, we said, no, Fela. In principle, we must fight for human rights of everybody. So General Obasanjo has nothing to worry about. We will ensure that his rights are not violated. However, we cannot guarantee that if there are grounds for arresting him to account for his own actions, and I'm talking of economic and financial crime, there is no way we can say, don't try him or don't arrest him or investigate. We cannot do that. But we will ensure that his rights are not violated within the ambit of the law, so, just like we do for every Nigerian.
So you should go to sleep on that matter?
No, he should go to sleep, but he himself has said he's ready to be probed.
All right, let's end the conversation, and if we may do that in about 40 seconds. Is it true, in your opinion, that this government has clamped down on dissenting voices, especially political ones?
No, I haven't seen any justification for that statement. And that's what everybody does. Because in Nigeria, we allow the ruling class to politicize criminality. You have a case of murder or armed robbery. We are looking at, suspects are mentioned. Oh, what political party did they belong to? Do they belong? Somebody has stolen, looted the treasury. Money meant for constructing roads or maintaining them. Money meant for building hospitals. It's criminally diverted. And the moment the person is arrested, oh, it's because he's not a Christian or a Muslim, or it's because he's a Yoruba or Asa man or whatever. No. Let us begin to get to the root of criminality in our country, regardless of who sucks his God.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, human rights activist. Always a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you very much
for coming on the
program.
Thank you. That's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Akimale. Bye-bye.